Hi, thanks for being here. Welcome or welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about what enough planning actually looks like for me and how I'm trying to stay consistent, even when I can already feel the motivation going downhill. If you're interested, I hope you stick around. There is a lot of pressure around planning, especially at the start of the year, where we try to do more, track more, stay motivated all the time to open our planners and actually add more to it, plan a little bit more, make it more pretty. I don't know, you name it. We try to add too much, I guess, because of the hype of the season, the beginning of the year. We're trying to become this new person that plans every single day and everything is pretty and perfect. But the reason that this collides with the consistency of planning is because it becomes too hard and it blocks the discipline or the habit building of the consistent planning systems that we're trying to build or maintain. I wanted to talk more about what enough planning is. Obviously, what enough planning is for me, it's not going to be the same thing for you, but hopefully this conversation can help you define what that means in your case. So basically, what enough planning is for me is actually, let's start with what is not for me. For me, it's not necessarily having a full page of information, although I do a full spread and a well-used spread, especially in my weeks. For some reason, it just feels motivating and it feels attractive to just come over here and fill it in and make sure that it's used and loved. But it's not necessarily just to be filled with junk, unless I do have the space at the end of the week. The other thing is tracking to me has to be very useful, and so I allow myself to add and remove as I go. I have my habits which change pretty much every week. So I just decide what helped last week, and then that's why I add following for the following week. So I do allow myself to change. It doesn't have to be exactly the same thing all the time. And the other one is I don't necessarily find that planning in allocating something to do to every single hour and minute of the day, it's helpful to me. I think that just gives me more stressed and it makes me feel more stressed, and it really blocks me on actually taking action on the things that I want to do. So what I want to do is I want to build this habit of asking myself, does this help me move forward towards my goal? And whatever it is that I put on my spread or my day or my planning pages. So that includes the monthly pages. So what is it that I'm going to do in here that can help me move forward? That's one question that I want to ask myself when I'm setting up my pages. So what if enough planning looks like for me in some days is it could be a short list, it could be a reminder, it could be a few notes. So for example, in here, this was yesterday. So yesterday I had a lot of plans, but a lot of things just happened. So I decided that instead of just adding junk in here, I was gonna leave it as it was. So I gave myself two main things to get done that day. One of them I did as much as I could, and the other one just had to move it. So I allow myself to just leave the rest of the day empty. Otherwise, I would have gone in and added other things to do, either notes or things like random stuff. So to allow myself to learn the habit of just allowing it to be short if it has to be short, or take more space if I had to take more space. That's one of the steps that I want to do. I'm going to allow myself to just leave it as it is. I don't rely necessarily on the motivation to do anything, particularly the motivation to reach a goal or the motivation for anything, because motivation is it can be up or down. It depends on the mood and depends on the season. It depends on how the plans are going and stuff. So I instead want to have a system that is free. It doesn't have specific rules, and there's fewer expectations in terms of the rules on how I'm going to be using the planner. Basically, I guess the goal is to keep using the planner and not use it perfectly. So even though I do enjoy seeing a full spread, I want to allow myself to not make this a rule. So it's not a rule to feel like I used it productively if it is filled. So I want to allow myself to, again, like I said before, leave it as it is and count it as a win. So finally, if it feels hard right now, I want you to perhaps ask yourself, is the system asking too much of me? So did I set up too many spreads and collections and things in the planner, or had too much going on at the beginning of my planner, the setup for my planner, that it's making it just feel daunting? Am I trying to plan for a version of myself that does not exist every day? Because again, like I said before, the motivation goes up and down. Sometimes you feel like you're ready to go for it, and then some of the days you feel like you don't want to do anything because for whatever reason. Instead of planning for that version of yourself, maybe trying to approach it from thinking about this person that sometimes it's not going to be as motivated. So how to plan for those days. And another question could be, what would enough look like for me? So what enough planning means for you. Obviously, like I said at the beginning, it's enough planning. It's not the same for everybody. For me, this is enough planning, even though it looks like a lot. I do have my tasks, a running list, I have my habits, and I have a space to add daily to-dos or daily reminders. I like to decorate it just so I can feel attracted to it. I do take my time on the weekends to set it up and have fun with it, but this is not necessarily a step that makes me feel like I'm accomplished. What it will make me feel accomplished is to get the things done, right? So really just writing down a list of things and checking them off, that should be enough. To find what enough planning is, maybe take a time to reflect on what is it that makes you feel accomplished. Not only setting up the planner, but once you get the thing done, what is that area that actually gets you inspired to move on and continue? That's the whole goal about having a planner and creating the consistency habit. So yeah, if this resonated with you, let me know in the comments what enough planning really is for you and how do you define it in your system. I'm curious to know. And if you're trying to build consistency without burning out, that's exactly what we're trying to focus on here. I am trying to really build a community that is looking to create a habit of planning for consistency. So if you're trying to do that, I hope that you consider liking and subscribing so you can see more videos like this. I hope you have found the video helpful. And yeah, I'll see you next time.